Okay, well, if you know what that is, then you're ahead of some. But that is where my main breaker box is supposed to go. We finally tore it apart, and I'm going to post up here some pictures of what that breaker box looked like after I took out all of the breakers. There were some interesting things that made me believe that this box was close to catching fire. Not to mention, here is the ground, the common wire for the electrical wire coming in. This is a 200 amp wire. You see that green is a sign that it got wet, but this right here is a sign that it got hot. So why was this one getting hot? Something was definitely shorted, and when I pulled the front panel off, I saw a little mouse that had wedged himself up in the main wires coming in, and I think he went across those and got a little more than what he bargained for, and he was there, and I'm sure that stunk horribly. And when the panel was live, it was humming, and nothing really electrical was running, but it was humming, and I've never had a panel hum like that. I should have caught it on camera, but I was more worried about if my house was going to catch on fire. But anyway, I got a new panel. I'm going to get the panel mounted up in here, and then we'll come back and tell you about that new panel. All right, here's the panel. This is a GE panel. It's a reversible, so you can mount it upside down with the breakers on the bottom, or you can mount it up higher. You could flip it around and have the breakers up top. Now that I have this side all done, now I have to move this side. So I have to move all my tools and crap over to the other side. I do a lot of flip-flopping of all my tools and stuff, so it's kind of a drag, but what can I say? Okay, so I want to show you guys these screws I'm using. I don't know if that's going to focus, but I'll try to get it to focus. But it's got an aggressive thread on it, and whoops, that's not it. It uses like a Torx bit type of bit like that, and I've always seen these screws in the hardware store, but I never had the courage to try them because they cost a little more. But the escalated cost is well worth it because they don't slip like the standard number 2 Phillips bits, and they take the torque so much better. Out of 50 or 60, I only snapped one. It went in really tough. But these are what I've been using to attach 2x4s and stuff. Very long screw, nice strong bite. Right now I'm hanging boards along the edge there so that I can screw my drywall to. Otherwise, this edge here will be flapping. I learned how to do things by myself because with no help, you kind of have to. If you want to get a job done and you have no help, you got to figure out a way to get the job done yourself. So what I've done is I have to put the plastic up first, and then I have to slide my insulation in above the plastic, and then pull the plastic up and tack it in there. It's difficult to kind of stuff it up in there because it gets wrinkled and it leaves gaps and stuff. So what I did was I created a way to do this, and I think it's very ingenious. I get my piece of insulation and I take my level, and since it's 4 feet, since my level is pretty much 4 feet, I lay it over here and then I flip it around, and I use this to support the insulation, so when I slide it in above the plastic, it doesn't flop over or bunch up. So here's how I do that. First of all, I make sure my plastic don't get caught up under the ladder, because once I get it up in there, I'm gonna have to pull the plastic up a little bit, tack it up there to get it to stay up there. However, the first one, since I have that board running there to screw my drywall to, it kind of holds it in there pretty good. But okay, all right. See how the level keeps it straight? Works perfectly. There we go. See, that kind of helps hold it up in there. Alright. So now we have to measure out a small piece to fit up in there, and then I can pull the plastic back, tack it up, go on to the next one. I've got the insulation up in the ceiling. It's all done, vapor barrier. If you might ask yourself, why is he putting plastic up? You know, and the answer is quite simple. You know, regular fiberglass insulation has got that brown paper on it. Well, that is the vapor barrier. It helps keep wind, you know, air blowing through your walls from coming inside. It prevents humidity mists and stuff from entering. And since the rock wool insulation I use does not have that paper backing, we have to put a paper or a backing on it, which is the plastic. And once all the drywall is attached, everything seals up, and we're completely protected from the outside elements. Because if you ever gone by an outlet when the wind's blowing really bad and you kind of place your hand there, you would probably feel air blowing in, and that's exactly what the vapor barrier helps keep from happening. There's going to be some that always makes in, because I can't get every gap completely sealed, so you know, there's going to be a little bit that comes in, but for the most part it's going to be protected. It's going to help in so many ways. So that is why I'm putting up plastic, just in case you were wondering. All right, so next up is basically putting up drywall.